Hey guys, welcome to the stream. Today we're going to be doing some coverage of some previously shot footage that I got a chance to record with a larger group of ours. So we had just got done, or I should say they just got done doing some quick practices, and I ended up logging in and somebody invited me to kind of do some small group roaming with them and just to check out some, PvP action outside of our group. Just looking for some fun, friendly competition, right? So kind of giving you guys a quick run through of what happened. Ended up being really fun roaming session with the group of guys I was with, a good group of guys. And I'm loading in my equipment here with fully expecting to have to craft gear, repair my gear and stuff. Not really anticipating any type of PvP action here at this temple, considering we have a few of us loading in, and typically, if it's a handful of people or more, I typically haven't had too much of an issue. You get a couple guys try to hit us up, but you could see my teammates there aren't really equipped appropriately right now. We're kind of communicating and kind of asking each other for materials, kind of transferring, and this is after the disciplinary changes, so I haven't even crafted my disciplines yet, or recrafted I should say, and haven't fully checked the change log. So here I'm trying to equip my stuff, and we're trying to set up. Hey guys, welcome back. Sorry about that. I had some issues with OBX here. It just stopped working for me. We had to go ahead and reboot OBX, so hopefully everything's good again. So once again, I'm saying here, I finally have my gear on and equipped. And as we're about to head out for me to craft my discipline, I know a few of us here are starting to. We're trying to meet up with our other friends and hopefully get this party started. But I think after we started getting ready to go, we encounter a group of players that just started trying to pick us off. And so I see one guy here and I'm just like, oh, okay, he's hitting my friend, I'm going after him. I've got a weapon. My friend clearly did not have, I think he had his basic night gear on, but he didn't have his disciplines or anything like that equipped. And I think we just kind of leave him be, and I'm sitting here trying to heal my ally here with the very base, you can see, class abilities that I have equipped here. I don't have my disciplines equipped, so yeah, I'm thinking, oh, okay, it's just one guy being annoying, and don't really think anything of it. And then all of a sudden, I think this is when all of a sudden they just start rolling us right here. I see I'm sitting here crafting, and I'm getting I'm getting stunned and suppressed, and I can't use anything, and we just get gibbed by this group of players from Chaos. And I was not ready for that. I literally had my craft menu open, and I was sitting there trying to just quickly craft a discipline, because I'm just like, okay, well, healing my teammate over there is not working out right now. So I was just like, you know what, I'm going to pop open my craft menu. I'm going to go ahead and craft Field Surge and equip that and get some heals going on. So I know at this moment our teammates are not too happy with that experience. We kind of just got rolled. We were unequipped. We were underprepared, and I think those group of guys kind of just took advantage of that, which I don't blame. I don't blame them. It was a little unfortunate on our end. It is part of the game technically, so I'm not gonna bitch and moan about it, but it was a little, I don't know. It was a little iffy on their part, just kind of. It was a little low on their part, kind of just rolling over the spawn point of the opposing faction. I think it was a little dirty. So, but I think we do get some payback action. once we start getting our group here. And I think we kind of just learned our lesson here. Everybody now is just starting to equip their equipment, and equipping the disciplines are a little bit more attentive now that we know that there's actually a larger group. I don't know, I didn't count, I didn't get a chance to count, first of all, how many people they had in their group, but I believe they counted about 10 to 15. I didn't get an exact head count, but I believe one of our teammates had gotten... Okay, we're back on, boys. Sorry about that. We got disconnected, reconnected. Hopefully this doesn't keep happening. Otherwise, that'd be kind of unfortunate. But here we're kind of meeting up with our group. We have a group that kind of spawned in that managed to not get massacred, but we are meeting with them. And so, you know, I'm in this little party of 5 here, but I think we're meeting with another party of 5. So we have our 10. And I think as the time rolls on, oh, this group fight is actually pretty sweet. Once we meet up with them, I think we're gonna start to see some action once we get grouped up with everyone here. I'm gonna go ahead and forward this a tiny bit here. I know we're just grouping up now, kind of protecting everybody who needs to equip, and I'm currently rocking the stock Legionnaire toolbar. So, you know, here we spend a good portion of this stream kind of roaming around and kind of gathering, and it's so interesting because you don't see any indicator of whether or not those are allies, which I found to be very, very interesting. Turns out those were allies. See, now we can see them. We just couldn't tell before, so it creates a very kind of tense situation where you just see characters moving out in the horizon without having communications. So here I'm equipping some passives real quick, just to whichever ones I have as we're getting ready to roll out, and I finally get them equipped, and I think everybody's kind of just hell-bent on getting some revenge action going on here. So we're getting ready to go. I believe here we have maybe 9 or 10 with us, and we're gonna go look for the group that kind of just rolled our group, our smaller group. So we know that they're chaos, and we're gonna go check them out here. We're gonna see what's going on. I know that in our second fight, I ended up getting blown up because I ended up getting a little too ahead of myself, so to say, or getting a little too big-headed and decided to just jump into the mix and say, oh, well, I assume, you know, hey, I'm a tanky durable class. I should probably try to absorb some damage. That was a huge mistake, just because I jumped into a group of, you know, CC, like, nuking confessors, and you could just see real quick once I started getting disabled to this magnitude, you know. So I'm still learning, you know, positioning and what's the appropriate or best positioning for my group, and so that's what this experience was about, kind of learning from our mistakes, getting our communications together, and working with our groups, and you know, obviously playing with other teammates, and just checking out overall how Crowfall is handling PvP. So, you know, in my title, you guys will see rip frame rates. You can clearly see, or I don't think you guys can see here, but we're on average, without, you know, the major players on screen. I'm getting on average 20 to 30 frames, which is, you know, workable. But I think once we start getting into combat, the frames just... oh my gosh, here we're at about, you know, 10 to 15 frames, which is just rough. It's a little rough. So I'm trying to hop around. I'm trying to hack and slash who I can. I'm trying to obviously drop heals, keep my teammates up, while keeping, you know, the confessor kind of displaced here. Oh, I got blinded. So lesson learned. I finally know what that is, and fortunately we were still on top of the confessor. And so here, able to keep up enough of my immediate party members, of course, are at like full health. So I'm just healing up some of our other, you know, friends over here, just trying to get those guys up. And here we're kind of discussing, you know, I finally have a chance to, you know, that we have high point, which, you know, is kind of funny. We just kind of rolled the small group. We were fighting uphill, but luckily we had the numbers to do so. And it's interesting, some of the feedback that we were getting from some of our own teammates. I think a lot of the feedback I kind of understood was that we wished friendly fire was on. Just it's interesting because it kind of avoids it feeling kind of spammy and Zerg-like. If you have friendly fire on, you have to be a little bit more deliberate on your actions and choose a little bit more carefully what you're doing. You can't just throw out a bunch of nukes and hope that your teammates don't get hit. So I wonder if they'll do that to an extent. That was some topic of discussion. So here I'm going to go ahead and chop down some wood because I'm just like, oh man, I need to start gathering resources to another rendezvous point. And I believe at that next rendezvous point, we ended up getting another 3 or 4 people to join from our group, to join up with our current group, and our party ended up being close to 15. And then towards the very end, though, we ended up getting like 2 or 3 more people, which ended up pushing closer to around 20 people. But I don't think we saw a lot of action towards the end. You know, typically our group of 15 is where the meat and potatoes of actual PvP happened. So here we have this little chest, and I had the hardest time kind of getting this chest. I'm gonna spare you guys the headache of seeing this stuff, but this is when, you know, teammates kind of transfer some resources to me. I'm able to get some resources, as you guys can kind of quickly see. And you know, here's where I craft you know, field surgeon, rune scar gladiator, and field surgeon are my 2 majors. I didn't even equip a weapon mastery right now because the weapon mastery I want to use isn't available. And then some minors that I have. I believe I'm rocking overwhelming odds. I believe I'm rocking sturdy to try out sturdy. And then what was the other one? Not punch drunk, because I was doing that before, but let's see what we have. I can't even remember, to be honest with you, what the minor ones that I crafted were. Overwhelming odds, I believe sturdy, and I believe might have even been punch drunk. Here we caught a straggler. Nothing impressive. Felt bad for the guy, but I don't at the same time. After getting wiped, I really don't feel bad. Getting wool. So over there, I'm just trying to keep my teammates up by healing here. I finally got my skill bars up. So here, I believe, is where we notice that their group is heading towards that spawn point, the huge group of over there. So here's where we engage, we recoup or reheal, and we're about to re-engage here. So, you know, we're just kind of communicating formations and teams. And this is where my dumbass decides to go in to the group of confessors kind of midway through our combat, and I just get rolled. I just get fucking blasted. So I learned the hard way, right? It's great. So you'll see here I'm just operating on the perimeter as I should, you know, keeping our guys up, watching our health bars, and keeping everybody up as high as possible. For my, you know, resource management wasn't the greatest. I had a low rage at this point, so I kind of learned, you know, I kind of be a little bit more choosy with my heals and who I'm keeping up, but can't save everyone. And here I'm trying to heal because I don't think I'm in the AoE, but I am, and so I'm just like, okay. So my health I'm not too worried about. You know, I heal myself and heal my teammates pretty easily. But I'm doing fine. I'm operating on the perimeter, and then here I'm thinking we're advancing going in. So I'm thinking, you know what, I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna split the group. I see a group of them. I'm like, I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna try to displace their group and try to split them down. And this is where I made the mistake of going in. So if I operate on the perimeter here, as you can see, we're doing quite all right. So this is such a large scale battle, but you can see I see one guy go flying up and one guy at low life. So here's where I'm like, oh, there's a bunch of guys low life, and I decide to hop in. Big mistake, right? I see their AoE here. I'm clearly hopping into their AoE, and you could just see my health bar right here. Just if you follow my health bar, you just see it going, and I'm suppressed. And I'm suppressed while I'm taking these nukes, and I just cannot. I'm getting one of my gripes right now with some of the Confessor abilities is there's a Vortex spell, and obviously if you play Confessor right now, you know what I'm talking about, that just sucks you in, and it's almost like a black hole effect from Dota, where you can't do anything, you can't move. I'm suppressed. I don't know if that's tied to the Vortex spell, but I can't move, I can't cast anything, I can't, you know, and it just deals a shit ton of damage with other CC effects stacked on top of that. So, you know, I'm rocking Stone Skin. I've got some good mitigation going, and my health bar just melts. You know, my health bar just melts. So, lesson learned. I'm like, fuck that. I'm not going into any of those battles. I'll let my DPS guys and my tanky disruption classes like the Knights and some of the champions and stuff like that, the Myrmidons, kind of do their jobs, and I'm going to operate on the perimeter and keep my teammates alive. And then we catch any stragglers kind of separated from the group. I can help, obviously, control those guys. But I learned firsthand here that you do not not to operate outside of my role. So we finally get back, and you know, we're pushing them back from their point, and I finally get to the party, and I'm just trying to heal everyone up at this point. Everybody's kind of operating on their fraction of their life, so we get a pretty good heal chunk going here, so we're pretty good. Restoring people, healing enough people. Which is great. So here we finally got them back, and here we're being a little bit more strategic with our location and our movements. I'm taking some damage, so here I kind of learned, I'm like, you know, get the hell out, operate under the perimeter, and here we're doing kind of flanking them a little bit, and I'm able to keep my guys up as my guys are moving forward. The trickiest part here is, man, I have 3 Confessors in my group, and they're all just flying everywhere, and I'm trying to keep them up. And obviously anybody else in our party, in our group, that's a little bit low on health, I'm trying to keep them up too. So I see one guy there, he was at low health, but we ended up burst healing him up quite a bit. And here I'm getting a little bit better at managing my rage, you know. Unfortunately, I'm learning, you know, I'm learning managing my rage and using it sparingly. Movement speed buff here. Trying to get us up there so we can get some heals going. We can get some good heals going. So we've got about 3 healers. You know, I think one for every group of 5. I think we've got 1 healer. And that seems to work out pretty decently. I mean, I'm sure, you know, healers are very valuable, and even like self-sustainable classes are very valuable. So, but I know there are going to be a lot of min-maxers kind of playing this game. So I know how it goes. Here we're kind of just roaming. We did kind of wipe them, and we don't know if they're respawning and regrouping or not. But we're just doing some more roaming here, and let me forward this around, see if, you know, we're regrouping. This is where we have 15. We're still at 15 here. I believe there's still one good engagement, or a couple good engagements we have after that engagement. And so that was our one of our teammates over there, just as a knight, 1v1ing a Confessor. Yeah, wasn't going to catch the Confessor, so I think they just kind of let him go. And when we realized that, hey, maybe the Confessor's scouting, so then we did send a couple people over there to pursue it and maybe take him down. scouting our party. Information is very valuable in Crowfall. That's a very interesting thing that I've learned is, you know, you have your Ganetians and you have your Rangers scouting, you know, relaying information back to their team, so that they can have favorable positioning, things like that. And once you get a lay of the land and you know the points of interest and you know where people are, that's very, very valuable. So they even have, you know, a skill tree branch dedicated to just that, which shows you, you know, goes to show you how important that stuff is. So here I'm switched over to a different group. I have, you can see 3 confessors in my group, 1 Templar, and myself, a horse bro. And I think this next encounter we had, I think our Templar died. He just, I don't think he's used. He usually plays confessor, but we had him as Templar for here, and he did not enjoy it as much. But you can see how hard it is. If you're the healer, man, you've got some work ahead, man, to be able to just track your team, monitoring your team status and keeping them up. It gets kind of challenging, especially if you have confessors pursuing something or they're operating on the perimeter. Some of them are bobbing and weaving in and out of combat. And then you have a Templar kind of going in the middle of things, and then I have to kind of keep my eyeballs. And I believe our second fight, I wasn't able to rescue our Templar in time, just because he kind of well, he got a little bit ahead of the group, and I was unable to reach him, and he got bursted down. So he kind of learned to kind of we kind of learned to kind of hug and orbit each other a little bit more, or a little bit closer. Checking some skills as we're grouping, and I know we're about to encounter, we do have information coming in, so we do have a scout or 2 on our team, just characters that are a little bit more mobile, can get more information for us. So they're kind of letting us know where the action is, so to say. But once we find it, this is where we're, you know, positioning ourselves to succeed a little bit more here. You can see I'm sticking with our group here, so it's great. It's a lot of walking, a lot of running. Man, these maps are no joke. They're pretty big. And just like the real world, man, you don't have teleports, and I don't know if they'll have any type of fast travel or anything like that in the final launch, but currently it's all by foot. So you know, here's where the bard's abilities come into play, come in handy. We're just on hilltop, kind of just we're regrouping. Yeah, we regroup on this hill. Checking our equipment. Roaming some more. Let's hope we get another. Yep. So here we are. We found another encounter. Our first group is engaging right now. We're being patient and we're holding back. We're trying to position ourselves so that. I think this is it. Or am I mistaken? No, I think this is it. I think we're approaching our second encounter. As you can see here, I'm by my party. Oh, that's an NPC. And so front group is going to engage. We have right side, so like flanking duties and just kind of catching any people retreating. We're operating like a flanking unit, but so this kind of teaches us here. You can see the engagement happening ahead. I notice it, and you know, we're in agreement. We're gonna go and sweep across. But the key here is not to engage too early. We want to position ourselves until we're ready to engage. As you see, the front group there is engaging. And we really wanted to help and jump in, but we were being patient. And I can see them here. I don't know if they see us, but we can clearly see them there. That's order. This is order group here. So as we get the go ahead, you can see us kind of, I'm operating on the perimeter here, just kind of poking my head in and out, and now they see us. We see that they see us, so they're probably calling out. Yep, somebody sees them, pops the shit. So now we engage. Now we sweep in and engage. You know, rip frames right here. I think we dropped down to close to 10 with this engagement. But luckily, some of my group members here are up. I'm able to keep most of our party members fairly healthy here. Thank God, right? You can kind of see how we're orbiting each other nicely. We don't worry. Nobody's really straying that much. But I think at some point here, our Templar gets separated. You can start to see our Templar health bar just going down, and he's calling for or I'm telling him, hey, you know, you're getting too far from the group. And he kind of lost his bearings a little bit as he's helping out. I'm really trying. You can see me. I'm kind of at this point pursuing him and trying to keep him up. I don't know if this is where he got bursted down or not, but I think he's okay. No, it was not him. Okay, it was not him. I know we were talking about this, and he got dangerously low right here, right? He got dangerously low. He doesn't know that I'm following him, and meanwhile, I'm trying to heal. He got dragged all the way over here. Meanwhile, I'm trying to heal him. So he got a little scared over there and kind of wondered where our group healer was, and I was telling him that we kind of lost line of sight of him, and so here we're just cleaning everybody up. I think one of our confessors here gets blown up for the reason I'm thinking. One of our confessors gets separated or gets blown up, kind of bursted, but he kind of learned, like, okay, in the next engagement, not to separate too far from the group so that he doesn't get blown up. But I think we're okay here, so I'm healing. Yeah, we're just communicating. He's like, where are my heals? I'm just like, man, you got separated. It's kind of letting them know, hey, I am paying attention. I am here. It's just, it does become very tough and chaotic, you know, when you're healing. And it's target healing too. It's not like, you know, it's not like my heals just jump over our other group members. He has to be in my line of sight and in my reticle. So if there are two guys next to him with low health, and I you know, within, you know, a few hash marks of the reticle there, it's likely that if they're interrupted line of sight, that he's not going to get the heal. Which is just the name of the game right now. That's just how the game currently works. I don't know how they plan on resolving that, or if they even plan on resolving that, or if that's even an issue, if it's not a non-issue or not. That just requires a little bit more attention and a little bit more awareness on everybody's part to be a little bit more coordinated. So, which is what I kind of believe the game is gravitating towards. This isn't something that's going to be a casual MMORPG. And that was direct from the developers saying, yeah, they're not making this game for casual players. This is definitely a game for a little bit more advanced MMORPG players. A little bit more roaming here. Let me see if I can skip ahead here. We're regrouping, getting more information on enemy positioning here. Nobody in the temple. I think there's one last encounter that is also a really big encounter. And that just completely rips our frames too. Yeah, we're roaming here. I think we're pretty close to it. Here we go. Yep. So here's another encounter. I think this is where one of my confessors gets bursted. He gets a little too far in. And he gets bursted. So here we're kind of... Here we see... Oh, here we go. There's chaos. This is the group that rolled us before, so this is kind of our payback. Just I didn't notice the chaos banner at the time. I was too worried about my teammates. Regardless of what banner the opponent has, I was really focused on my teammates, so I'm kind of monitoring health bars and on-screen positioning. And there's only 2 or 3 of us on screen here that I noticed, and you can see this is how I was playing in game, so it was tough. I mean, frames at 10. This is what combat is. I know it's going to get optimized, but this is currently what we're playing at, and it's just so crazy with all the particles and things flying around, fire tornadoes everywhere. I don't know which one's my allies or is my group, so I just tend to avoid all the fire tornadoes. You could just see my confessor there just got bursted down so bad. I'm sitting there trying to bring everybody up, and he was so squishy. He got kind of he said he got stuck in the rock formations there, so the environment does kind of help or hurt you depending on if you're on the giving or receiving end of that deal. Keep that in mind. Good lesson learned for him and for everybody else kind of watching and analyzing that situation. That was kind of funny. We did manage to salvage his stuff. It is currently like a full loot, or inventory loot, I should say. Everything in your inventory can be looted, and that happened to me the first time. So you saw all my fucking minerals and woods, all materials. Oh my god, that was like the lottery for somebody, you know, which sucked, which is really shitty. But you know, having these really nice PvP encounters kind of made up for it. So, silver lining, right? So, I don't know. I'm fairly happy with that. With the outcome, I think. Oh god, you just see one guy get thrown up in like 2 miles up in the air here, and you see him just fall back down. Oh my god, that is so absurd. I can't wait to see these environmental improvements, though. I'm really excited for that. I know they kind of released some more information on new environmental textures, and you know, I think I'm running this on medium or high, and I think I did that on purpose. I didn't even try bump it up into like ultra yet, just because I'm more concerned with frames performance right now. I just want it to run. You know, next time we go on this roam, I might even bump it down to low, because I know these encounters, and we have guys running, you know, Titan graphics cards, and they're getting I'm getting 10, they're getting maybe 12 to 15, you know, not too much more. And I have a pretty good rig, so you know, I know it's not the hardware that's the issue, because I can run every other game that I play pretty much on ultra without hiccups. I mean, pretty much damn near 60 frames on everything, 60 plus frames maxed out. So they just need to do some optimizing, and I understand that. This is pre-alpha, guys. Just remember, Crowfall's not going to be always like this, but this is the first time I've got to experience personally the group PvP action, and we got to see how that was like, and what that included. And that goes the same for everyone else in our group, in our party, just friends. They got to experience that. You know, what is it going to be like, you know, in campaign worlds when we have multiple points of interest? You know, maybe we're not going to be roaming 15 people. Maybe we are. Maybe we're going to be roaming in parties of 10. Who knows? Maybe we'll be roaming in parties of 5. Who knows? This is just to experience what large-scale combat is like in PvP. How we manage the chaotic communications, positioning, roles. Everybody needs to know their roles and know how they work with their own unit, as well as working with a larger group. That's a big part of it. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it, guys. I wanted to show you guys what we got, and this is where we're talking. I'm like, man, these frames are just horrid right now. And this is what we're talking about currently. That's the topic of conversation. We're talking about how horrible the frames are right now, and I just wanted to give you guys, you know, a chance to see that firsthand, from my perspective. You know, playing a healer, of course. If that's your thing, cool, you could relate. If that's not your thing, you're probably like, oh, boring. Boring. No thanks. Bye. No, you would enjoy a lot of people. I mean, I've practiced and scrimmed against confessors, and those guys are just absurd right now. Confessors are just ridiculous right now. So, um, if I were to play a DPS class and I wanted to just blow people up, I would be playing confessor, no, hands down. I mean, other classes are fun too in their own way, but confessors are just absurd. They're just so absurd. All right, now their CC is just so strong. And you guys clearly saw that, right? So, I mean, with Runescar Gladiator mitigating 50%, and even if I have that active, or, you know, and on top of that, my Armor of Faith. Oh yeah, that's my other minor that I couldn't think of. Armor of Faith mitigating damage, right? And then sturdy mitigating damage as well. And then I have other armor mitigation. It's just, there's absolutely, it was absolutely ridiculous just seeing my health bar just melt like butter like that. It's just crazy to me. But yeah, anyways, we're at the 30-minute mark. I hope you guys enjoyed the PvP kind of recap. PvP highlights, right? Maybe that's what I should call it, the PvP highlights. Yo, what's up, Bawesk? Bawesk hops in there, GG bros. Yeah, Bawesk is one of our group, you know, he was in our group roaming too. But we're just kind of recapping what happened in PvP, and I know that he experienced it as well, got to experience the good times. So, yeah, hopefully we can bring you guys more of this video content as I make it, as I produce it. So it'll be great. And I, like I said, had a blast roaming with the group here. It was awesome. So I'm sure we all shared that sentiment. It was just kind of nice seeing everybody show up and competing. Even if we were getting rolled, it was just kind of a funny moment where we were all just kind of standing around, and it's like a Monty Python moment. For those of you guys old enough to understand that reference, Monty Python and the Holy Grail. It's just getting rolled unexpectedly. Okay, well, I'm gonna call it a night. Good guys. Good guys. Good night, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you guys for the support. Thank you guys for stopping by. You know, again, a lot of support, a lot of good feedback, and improving, right? We're improving our skills, and that's the most important thing. We're constantly improving the channel and also in-game skills, so that's great. Hope to see you guys tomorrow. I know I will be, what day is it? Monday. I will be doing some practicing, so hopefully I'll be able to get a video of that. Don't know if I'll be publishing the video tomorrow or not. I may, but we'll see. We will see. I will try to get a video tomorrow. Won't promise anything, but Tuesday, I should be able to get a video out on Tuesday, so that'll be great. Thank you guys very much, and I will catch you guys later. Peace out.